Hi, hello friends, welcome back to my channel once again, Code with Dharanz. In this video we're gonna see how to implement a cascading drop-down list. What is cascading drop-down list? Is nothing but one drop-down list. It has a relation data of another drop-down list. Here I have continent, country, city. This is what we gonna implement. When it's a continent, it's not selected anything, the others will be disabled. When I select Asia, country will be enabled. Here we could see the Asian countries, and when I select Europe, you could see Europe countries. When I select Europe country, one of Europe country, you can see the cities of that country. When I deselect it, it will be disabled. When I deselect it will be disabled. This is what we're gonna implement. This is called a cascading style sheet. Let's get started to see how we can implement this via MVC. Okay, in our MVC project, now let's create a controller. MVC5 empty controller. I'm gonna name this as cascading. Our controller created. Immediately you should create a view. For that controller, choose a layout page, add. Okay, it's fine. Then go to route.config, change your startup controller. That's it. Everything perfect. Let's run the application. Yeah, our controller works really well. It has been built successfully. Now let's go and create a model for our country, continent, and city data. So in a model folder, right click it, add class. I'm gonna name it as cascading model. In that cascading model class, I'm gonna change the class name alone. So continent. In that continent takes a couple of properties. One is continent ID, another one is a continent name. Likewise, we should create a class for country ID, country name, and it has a relation between, it should be a relation between country and the continent. Then only we could implement a cascading drop-down list. Normally you will do this in a real-time application with a databases. In a databases we will have a foreign key references. With that we could get a data from an entity model or ADO.NET connection and show it in the view. Now I'm not gonna show you how to do within a DB. That will be coming up in next videos. So as of now I'm gonna create a static data with this models. So this should be a continent ID, should be an integer, and create another model class for city. It's country ID. Okay, immediately just import this namespace in a cascading controller. That's it. Now we can access the model classes in our controller. Perfect. Now let's go and implement our form. For form in h2 tag, we're gonna cascading drop down list. I'm just using here bootstrap, so break class as normal procedure, div class form group. In that form group, label continent and select control form control set ID. This is DDL drop down list continent. Given option value, first initially we will have a select. When the user not selected anything, we should show some select label something. For that, option id set as 0. Okay, let's go ahead and create a forms for country and the city. Should be country. This should be a city. Much good. Okay, let's run the form and see how it visibles in a browser. Here we go, form, continent, country, and city. Everything rendered so perfectly. Now, let's implement a script, JavaScript. So we're gonna use a jQuery AJAX calls to get approached with the controller. So before you're gonna use a jQuery, make sure you just download it from the NuGet package manager. That will be in the script file, and add it to the bundle. And make sure you just put this jQuery bundle script render at the top of the render body method. Is all you have to do to use jQuery in MVC script. When the page loads, the function. Okay, I'm gonna implement a JAX call. For a JAX call, we of course need a function in a cascading controller. So let's go and implement it. I'm gonna create function that returns a JSON result. Get continent. Okay, in that JSON result, I'm gonna provide a data for our model list. So continent model, this is mod is equal to new continent model. It takes the object new continent. We should provide ID manually. One, and the continent name is Asia. ID 2, continent name is Europe. Pretty much good. Though as simple as return JSON this mod object JSON request. It will prevent your browser to access when it gets allow access origin errors. Logget. Now code index.html, implement an AJAX call. First argument takes an URL property at url.action. Our method name is getContent, and the controller name is Cascading. Then type is post, data type is JSON. We aren't pass any parameters here, so no, we don't need to provide a data. Success takes a function returns the data. So the data, we should append this data values ID and name to this option. So we're gonna loop the select control function takes a couple of arguments. One is function index and the item itself. Okay, now let's go DDL continent. Let's a select ID. DDL continent dot append just let me copy this. Instead of ID 0, I gonna set this item.id here. We're gonna concatenate. Instead of concatenate, we can do a modern JavaScript approach. Instead of single quotes, use backtick to concat between objects and the string. So what you have to do, string and braces. Into the braces, you can do whatever you want. id.name. That's it. That's all you have to do. If you run this application, you will definitely going to see an error. Not at all an error, that's a bug. Let's run the application. Yeah, I just run the application. The application ran successfully. Initially, it will be in a select. When you click here, yeah, the AJAX call works perfectly. This is Asia, this is Europe. Then when you click here, okay, everything is work fine. But the other country and city should be disabled. When we click continent, the country only alone should be visible. So before the AJAX call, let me copy this. DDL country.prop disable true. Likewise, city. Now we can't implement when we change the continent value, the country should be visible. So that we gonna implement later when we when we change some values in a continent. So as of now, let's refresh it. See, it's perfect. The other controls are disabled. Now let's go ahead and really gonna implement a cascading functionality. As of now, we just taken a data from a controller and load it in a drop-down list. Now when we change the value of a continent control, we should take the value, pass it in a controller, get the particular continent countries from the controller, and render it into this country select control. Let's see how we're going to implement this. For that, when we do some changes in a continent, on change function, just implement the same AJAX call here, get country data. We should pass the data because we should get the continent ID, the selected value, to the controller. Then only we can filter the particular continent countries from the controller. So that should be, as of now I not implemented this get country method in a cascading controller yet. Now we're gonna do that. DDL continent dot, well, what we have selected. At the moment you select it, the value will be changed as DDL continent. Simple. So we're gonna append into DDL country. Now let's implement this get country method in a controller. Public JSON result get country takes this parameter. Let me copy this here. Country. I'm gonna set a couple of countries for each continent, so we need a 4. For Asia, I'm gonna set India, continent ID 1, China, continent ID 1, and for Europe, Portugal, continent ID is equal to 2, Germany, continent ID is equal to 2. Perfect. Now return this JSON. We can't return this model this list of country directly, because we need to filter it. We need to get which country ID that we are getting. We need to filter the particular countries from the continent by using this continent ID. So for that, I'm gonna create another country list. This is called new list is equal to mode dot where tends to a dot continent ID t list. Now, as simple as that, JSON request flavor. Okay, that's it. That's all you have to do. Go to index, run the application. Okay, our application ran. When we click the Asia, what happened? It not undisable. So what we have to do, when we click it, when the data succeeds, immediately get country dot prop disable false. When you do this, I'll show you. Select Europe. What happened? DDL country prop disable false. Sorry, I just done a really big mistake here, that we shouldn't provide ID here. That should be a value. Should take the value. So let's go ahead, refresh the application. Asia, it's enabled. Okay, India, China, filtered perfectly. Europe, what happened? I know this will happen, because we just keep on appending keep on appending the option value into the select controller frequently. We should block this each and every time. When we change a continent, this should be rendered from the initially. This is a really simple fix than I expected. For that, what you all have to do, country dot html and append this value again here. Sorry. That's it. Let's go and refresh it. We should do one more thing here. Select Asia, India, China, Europe, Portugal, Germany. Perfect, which is really fantastic. When you click the select again, it should be disable. For that, here we just set a detail country prop disable false. When it has to be false, when it has to be true. Hash DDL continent dot value double is equal to 0. It should be disabled true, otherwise false. Now let's refresh this application. Asia, Europe, Portugal, Germany. When I click select, hit disable. Fantastic. This is really a simple method to implement cascading dropdown list. Let's go and implement the city too. Let's stop debugging. Go to cascading dropdown list. Just copy this. Get city. Here it takes not continent ID. Here it's gonna take a country ID. Implement city model. City for India, Delhi, China, Beijing, Portugal, Lisbon, and another Portugal city, Porto. I am just setting the Germany as ideal now. I gonna append any countries Germany as of now. So this is not a continent ID. This is a country ID. 1 country ID for Beijing is 2. This is for 3. Again, this is 3. We should change the list to country ID. Then return new list. Go and implement another AJAX call. Let's copy this AJAX call. This country. Here it takes get city, country, country ID, country value, and this sort of should be city. Instead of continent, we should get the country value. That's it. Now let's run the application. Now application builder, let's go and check it out. Asia, India, city Delhi. Perfect. China, Beijing. When you go to Europe, Germany, nothing selected. When you change this as a select, it says disable. But when you change the continent as select, it should be disabled too. But Asia, India, Delhi, see, not happen what we have expected. For that, again one more trick. When we change the continent, we should check the same value what I have checked for disable functionality. If detail continent value is equal to 0, we should get the city prop true. Again, for city, we should do this HTML append too. There, go and refresh it. Now let's change the continent. Let's change the country. Set Lisbon and select. Yeah, perfect. It works really well. That's all about, guys. This is a cascading drop down list functionality. This can be really grateful to you to implement cascading drop down list. If you wanna do that, you can keep this as a partial view, or you could keep this as a widget in your entire MVC application. When you go with a real-time application, when the application takes much huge, you could go with these kind of functionalities. So I hope you'll enjoy this video. If you like this video, like, comment, share. Don't forget to subscribe my video and click the bell icon to get my latest video updates. I'll meet you in the next fantastic video. Until that, bye bye, take care, thank you.